And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use triads within the cage system to play 1, 5, 6, 4 progressions. So it's going to be really, really cool. Let me give you a little example here of what I'm going to be doing. I have a little loop that I created with the bass guitar on my looper. So here's the loop. It's going to be in the key of A. So we've got A is the 1 chord. We have E is the 5 chord. We have F sharp minor is the 6 chord, and D is the 4 chord. And it sounds like this. Check it out. Check this out. All right. So those were me playing the regular Cowboy Chords progression and then playing triads on 4 different string sets, which is basically just triads within these cage system chord shapes. So if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, all that groovy stuff. So check this out. You know, everyone knows these chords right here. A, the shape. Got the E, which, cool enough that we're using the shapes, the chords too, of the cage system. F sharp minor. That's an F sharp minor chord, but it's also it's an F sharp, it's like an E minor shape. Here's an E shape, but up here for the F sharp minor, it's really an E minor shape. If I played E minor here, just like the E, it's just the minor version. It's minor, and they go up to here, just move it up, you know, from E minor to here. E minor shape, but over the F sharp, and then the D chord, which is the D shape, which later we'll get into the fact that it's also a C shape, like this. So that I can get down lower on all the triads shapes. You'll see that in here in just a second. So if you take the 4 chords, it's a 1, 5, 6, 4 progression. What do I mean by that? Well, the A is the 1 chord in this key. The 5 is an E chord, and the F sharp minor is a 6 chord, and then the D is a 4 chord. Because if you count from A up the major scale, try not to lay off, it's probably driving you crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the octave. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the D, 5 is E, and 6 is F sharp minor. Right here. A is the 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, E. So that's the 5 chord. F sharp, that's the 6 chord. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 is D. That's the 4 chord. So in a nutshell, that's the number system. 1, 5. And what I mean by putting these to work is that instead of just learning the triad shapes and the different inversions everywhere, we're actually going to play this with a chord progression today to make music out of it. You know, it's all coming together now. So you play this A chord. Any questions about this so far? Let me know. They're cowboy chords. You know, that's just what we know. I got to get my cowboy hat out, but these are the full-on cowboy shapes that we all know and love. F sharp minor. So this full A chord right here. Like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to play parts of this A chord. You know, the A has 4 different triad shapes within this chord right here. On the first string set, the first, second, and third string, right here. And this is the first string set, and it's like this. Then you have, if you go down right here, you have it on the second, third, and fourth string, which is the second string set. And then here's the third, fourth, and fifth string. Now I can't play it in this box right here on these strings, because that's just a power chord right there. So I'm actually playing a first inversion A right here. So I'm just bringing it up from the A, because I already have an A here. This is just a power chord, A, 5, A. So I'll take the A and I'll just move it up to the third. Right here I'll play, so it's a first inversion A, playing these 3 strings. The 5, 4th, and 3rd string. And going down one more, can't play that right there either, the open E, because that's the 5th, root, and then the 5th again. So I'm just going to play a first inversion, a root version here on this position. So all of these chords right here are part of an A shape. On the A shape, it turns into the G shape here. Because, you know, you don't have triad shapes going down this chord right here, except for the height, the top part. You only have this one, the root version, and you have the first and second inversion one here. You know, sticking to the same chord right here. You know, it's really just one chord that we're playing. This A shape, A, that we know and love right there. So we play the top 3 strings, the first string set. You have the root, 3rd, 5th. What's cool about the triads is that they fit perfectly within the cage system shapes. And sometimes you can't play all the triads within just one shape of the cage system. They morph together. So this A shape and the G shape are kind of one of the same. See, it's the top part of the G shape is the A shape. But in order to get all the full triads, I have to break into the G shape here. So over this A chord, we have 4 triads right here. And it goes like this. Because essentially what I did at the beginning is I'm trying to break out of the cowboy chord shape thing. So I played the whole progression like this. A, E, F sharp minor, and D. But then I broke it down to where I played the top parts only of the 4 chords. So it's really the same shape here, but I'm only playing the top part. And then the next chord was the E, and I only played the top part. So I'm sticking to the first string set right here. Then the F sharp minor, it's just the top part. And then the D, it's just the top part. I was playing the D like this as well. It's really the top part here. So it sounds like this. And with the bass line, it sounds cool. You know? You can do something like this. Check this out. Added a flat 9. Any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. It's so much fun. I'm going to give you a little bonus tip, and that's when I played that flat 9 in there, how to use that. I mean, sounds pretty cool. It's like a leading tone. A little chromaticism in there. I'm just showing you the 4 shapes of these chords as I go into the progression here. So, you know, just a simple A chord. You don't have to learn the triads right away all over the place. Just see them within this shape. So then we go to the next chord, which is the E chord, just a regular cowboy chord. But I'm playing 4 triad shapes. Check it out. The top part is this first string set. It's the E string, the B string, and the G string. Then you have the second string set, the B string, G, and the D part of it. It's right here. So right here you have 2 triad shapes. The first inversion starting on the 3rd. Then you have the root, which is starting on the root. Now going down on this string set, you have 1, 2. You have a second inversion. So you got the 5th, the root, and the 3rd. Just like that. 5th, root, 3rd. But down on the low string set, the E, the A, and the D, you just have a power chord here. So I'm going to go up again like I did in the A to there, to a first inversion. So now I have the 3rd, 5th, and you hear that all the time too. Now you're blending the cage system chords together as well. So here's the E shape. All these string shapes. Can't talk. Sorry. The triad here, triad here, triad here, and once again have to go to this. That's a D shape right here. Because all these shapes are going to change, but they're going to look exactly the same, but for different chords. So now I'm playing a D shape. Just like this. You wouldn't play it that full like that, but I'm just trying to describe. It's like a D, like if you're playing a D here, and you play your thumb on top. The D like that. It's the same thing if you move that up to E. You just gotta move everything up, so that would be that's the thumb right here. Just like that. If I played it up here, this. That's the whole triad system within the 5 chord. There's triad here, triad here, triad here, and triad here. We have 2 more chords here. This F sharp minor chord. So check this out. You have the same thing with the 4 chords here of F sharp minor. You have the top part. I'm just, like I did the A chord and like I did the E chord, I'm doing the same thing. I'm breaking down the shape here of this particular chord. Here it is, the F sharp minor chord, and it's an E minor shape because here's an E minor. Bring it up to an F sharp. So it's F sharp minor. I have the top string set. I have the second string set. Then the third string set. But unfortunately, once again, the lower string set right here, it's a power chord again. And I'm staying away from power chords, so it's not a triad. So I'm going to take the first inversion by playing this like this. So that's an F sharp minor. So it's the same part of the chord. Check it out. I'm not really changing much. I'm leaving the 5th and the root, but instead of playing the root again, I'm moving it up to the 3rd, minor 3rd. Minor 3rd is just a whole step and a half step. So here it is. Cool. So you have this top part, and you have this middle part right here. You have this lower part here, and here. So it really depends on what tone you want. What tonality of the guitar. Do you want a high pitched thing? Do you want a medium, somewhere in the middle? Do you want low notes? It's good to color up things that way because that's how you build and that's how you orchestrate things. Moving along, we did this chord. Now one last chord, the D chord. So you see this D shape right here. Really, really cool, really popular D shape. It's just a D chord, cowboy chord. All these chords are just simple cowboy chords. A, E, F sharp, D. And we've made 4 versions of each chord so far. The A, it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And over the E, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And over the F sharp minor, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now over the D, the same thing. But what's funny about this D, and it's a little tricky, just like some of the other cage shapes, they blend into each other. Because on the first string set up here, the E, the B, and the G, here's the triad of the D. Because I have the 5th, the root, and the 3rd. But with the D shape, you're just doubling the D. So even though that's a D shape, the triad is on the top part of it. So in order to make a triad here, I'm going to bring this chord, this note here. And this is the 3rd, so it's a first inversion. So that's a D. But it's in the C string shape. See, look, here's a C chord, a C shape, right? Slide it up to here to D. So it's part of that. As I go down this D, I can't really play it this way because I'm running into bar chords here. Same thing with this one. That's the D, that's a triad, but that's not a triad, and that's not a triad. That's just a fifth, roots, fifth again. And then here would be a third. That would be a triad. Fifth and root, third, fifth, root. You have down there. But we're going to break this from this D shape into the C shape. So there's a triad right there, a first inversion, and here is a root triad. It's like a C shape. Here's a C. And then you have one more in the lower shape, like this. So that would be the fifth, the root, and the third. It's part of the C shape. You could do that chord progression on all 4 string sets, like I did. And we'll do it again real quick here. You have A. Next string set. Next string set. Next string set. Now, one thing that's really cool is that we only played on one area of the neck here. We don't have really enough time to go through the different areas here, but that's for another lesson, for another day. But you could start up here as well in the next cage shape. You could start playing an A up here and the E, and then the 5 chord, you would play it up here like this. An E right here, which is the C shape E. And then a C shape F sharp chord right here. And a D. So it'll be like this. E. C sharp and F sharp minor D. But those are full chords, once again, full chords that you don't really have to play. And over this progression, it would sound like this. But you don't have to play all those chords like that. You could play the same exact thing that you did down here, but up here, you have an E shape A instead of an A shape A. So E shape A, and then you break it down, and you have this first inversion starting with that. And over the E, you just go down to here, playing the top string set. And over the F sharp minor, you play it like this. And we went through all those shapes before in previous lessons. We're putting it to work here on a 1, 5, 6, 4 progression. 1, 5, 6, 4. Now, one quick trick before we go here is that going back to here, whenever you have the 5 chord, you could alter a 5 chord. In this case, the E is a 5 chord. So I could take the E note and I could play an F with it. So that's taking the 9, which would be an F sharp. Check that out. Like this is an E9 chord. Because I'm playing an E chord. And I play that F sharp. 9 chord. If I flat the 9, I'm playing an F. It sounds like this. Well, in the first string set, the E9 would be like this. Here's an E, E9. Flat 9, I just flat it one note. So an F. Check it out. So just like in jazz, you're taking the 5 chord and you're altering it, and it leads to another chord. Look how nicely it fits to that next chord, the 6th chord, which is. So I'm just simply taking the 1 chord, A. When I go to the 5 chord, in every triad, they're just they're like frameworks. You could do whatever you want with the frameworks. The cool thing is, once you see the framework, it's the same everywhere. And you know, when I go to an E chord here, first inversion on the triad string set, first string set, well, where's the E? Well, it's right there. I mean, just play a half step up in E, and I have that E flat 9, which leads to this chord. So here's the progression. Normal E, 6 chord, 4 chord. Here's the 1 chord, flat 9. Pretty cool, right? I mean, I love that. And the great thing is, you could do that everywhere. Well, look at the next string set. We have the A here. Well, here's the E, right? Well, here's the E is in this triad. It's right here. So I play that up, a half step up. Listen what that sounds. How cool is that? Check it out. So it's the same chord here, E chord. But I'm taking that E and I'm just going up a half step. So it sounds like this. It chromatically walks up to the F sharp minor. It has that sound with a little bass going on. Just like that. Same thing down here in this string set. Here's the A and the lower 3, 4, 5 string set. E, flat 9, F sharp, D. It sounds like this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this today. I had a good time playing this stuff. It's really, really cool. Just being able to play different inversions over chord progressions. Take what I showed up. It'll be another lesson when I break down the triads on this shape right here. But really, all there are is this shape down here that we did, the one up here, and then there's another one starting off with this A on the D shape. So if you do all the same stuff with that, then you did all 3 inversions of the same chord. And then it just goes back to the A again up here. That means that you've played 4, 4, and 4. You played like 48 different triad shapes if you know those. Because you have, each chord has 4, and there's 4 chords, that's 16. What is 16 times 3 areas? I think it's 48. Yeah. I'm not a mathematician here. I just play one on TV. So if you want these graphs, just email me at info@jerrycherry. I think this was a lot of fun today. So any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. Any more ideas for future lessons, what you guys want to do, let me know, because, we're in this together. If you don't know yet about my guitar course, I'll tell you about it real quick. Here's the Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. I go through 4 different topics here. Fretboard memorization. I show you easy ways to memorize all the notes all over the neck. The circle of fifths, because there's all the chord progressions that you want are inside those chords, inside that circle of fifths. Blues soloing, I talk about vibrato, and I talk about, bending strings in tune. It's so important to be able to find a note and bend it up. Give some good vibrato. And all this stuff really fits a little triad shape. So it all comes together. All the triad shapes, blues, bending, vibrato, all that good stuff. So check out the link in the description. I would appreciate that. So thank you so much again for hanging out with me. I love yous. Remember, be cool, be kind, and be cherry If you want to see another video on building triads, I'll put that right up there. So, love yous, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Peace, y'all. Rock and roll.